Today I'm here at the Tennessee Aquarium in Chattanooga, and I'm about to hear a really cool keeper talk about alligators. Let's have some fun.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Delta Swamp. My name is Maggie. I'm joined this morning also by Mackenzie, and you guys have come at a great time. We're going to be doing some pretty cool things with all of the animals here in the swamp. So, Mackenzie, do you want to start us off and tell us what that big pole is for?
Of course. So everybody see this big white pole here? It actually has two metal rings at the bottom here, and I'm going to shake it 16 times fast underneath the water. And that's like an alarm clock for our alligator snapping turtle. So if he chooses to come over today, he'll be fed some really tasty things. I'm not sure. Oh, actually, I do now see him exactly where he's hiding out. And you guys probably can't see him, so I'll go ahead and tell you where he is. If you look back where our shack is, there's a skimmer in that cypress just to the right. And that's actually kind of where he's hanging out, letting all the water kind of flow over him. So hopefully he'll choose to come on over here after the call's given. Let's try and see.
I'm excited.
All right, he gets up to 3 alarm clocks, or alarm calls, that is, every single presentation. So if he chooses to come over by the 3rd time, then he'll get what I have for him today. And today, it actually may look a little bit familiar. Anybody think this looks like anything that we were familiar with? What do we think? What's it look like? Reese's cup, right? But it actually has a little, I think, fish in this one, actually. There's a smelt in this one. The other one, I think, has a rodent in it, so we give him something special in the middle, kind of like a prize in your cereal box, so to speak, for this guy. So he enjoys that very, very much. And hopefully he'll come over and get it today. On the plus side, though, even if he chooses not to come over today, that's all right. He doesn't have to eat every single day. He can actually go weeks or even months without eating for an alligator snapping turtle, and still be all right. And he actually is a very large guy. You can't probably see him all that well yet, but he weighs 160 pounds. So he is a very large turtle. And he started out life really tiny. He hatched out of an egg like all turtles do, but he hatched out of a pretty small egg. So how big do you think he was? Show me with your hands how big you think he was maybe when he hatched. What do we think, guys? Pretty little? You guys are right, about correct. So about the size of a $50 coin. Okay, so he started out like very, very tiny. I'm going to go ahead and give him that second call, and I do want to let you guys know that even though we estimate him at around 80 years, he can actually live to be 100 to 150, and they continue growing throughout their life. So if you see a really big alligator snapping turtle, that's more than likely a very old alligator snapping turtle.
Doesn't look like he seems too interested this morning.
No, I think he's really enjoying his time back with the water flowing over him. So
Making a nice man.
he is seemingly enjoying that right now. So hopefully he'll come over the next call. If not, that's all right too. And in addition to the fact that our alligator snapping turtle is still growing, so are our gators, aren't they, Maggie?
Yeah, so I'm sure you've noticed we have a nice group of American alligators in the swamp. And these guys are all still pretty young and pretty small. And just like that alligator snapping turtle, they grow continuously throughout their life. The older they get, the slower it goes. But these guys, when they reach adulthood, can be anywhere from 11 to 13 feet. And to give you a better idea of what that looks like from where I'm standing now, all the way back here is 12 feet. So that's how big these alligators are going to get. Now, just looking at them, doesn't seem like we have very much in common with them, but we do have a lot of similarities with these reptiles. So raise your hand for me if you like to eat chicken. Right? How about fish? Yeah, how about rats? these alligators like to eat. And we feed them those big whole prey items a few times a week, especially during our training sessions, because that's what they get the most excited about. Those are their favorite foods. But today they're just getting something called crock chow. It's these little pieces, and they also come in a bigger size from when the alligators get a little bit bigger. And it's kind of comparable to your dry dog or cat food that you would feed to your pets at home. It's got everything that they need in it to be a complete diet, but it's made specifically for our alligators. And that is what they are eating, and that's what I'm slowly feeding them out in case that alligator snapping turtle does decide to join us. These gators are very smart, and they know when he gets those big Reese's Cup treats. They're pretty tasty for our gators too. So I try to keep the gators over here while Mackenzie feeds the snapping turtle over there. And look, we've already got one looking for some leftovers before the snapper even showed up. So like I said earlier, it's hard to imagine that we do have a lot in common with these guys, but along with some of those similar foods that we eat, we also live about the same amount of time. When these guys get to adulthood, they can live anywhere to be about 80 years old, kind of like us. And one of the things that makes them live so long is the fact that alligator moms are some of the best reptile moms out there, and they even stay with their kids up to about 3 years.
So they do have a lot more in common than you and I would originally assume about reptiles to have in common with us. But they actually have another thing in common with us too, and that's the fact that just like you and I have our own individual personalities, so do these American alligators, and so does our alligator snapping turtle. So they are very intelligent animals. They can be trained to do simple behaviors, and they do have their own personalities. Some of them respond better to training than others. Some of them are super food motivated. Some of them are a little bit more shy, don't come over to us quite as easily. Some of them are very sneaky and like to try to steal our equipment when we're working with them. So they're pretty funny because you get to learn when you're working with these guys each and every individual personality. But another way that helps us to tell them apart, if you look at their nails, you might notice that they have some bright colors on those toenails. Everybody notice that? Those are actually vinyl nail caps. We did try paint before. It didn't really work. It didn't stay on very well. But vinyl nail caps are actually glued on with animal safe super glue. And they stay on for 2 or 3 months, give or take. Sometimes we have to replace them a little bit more frequently. Sometimes they stay on longer than you would think that they would. And it just helps us to know each individual apart from one another even better. We do know their personalities. We do know slight size and coloration differences that they have. However, it's an easy thing for us to just look down and see a bright color and know right off the bat which individual that we're working with. And they do know their names. That's part of the training that we do with these guys. They are able to recognize their own names. So that name recognition is what they're currently working on. And they do a really great job with that so far. Now, in addition to all of these guys having their own personality, again, our alligator snapping turtle does too, and he actually has turned around and he's facing towards my way, so I'm not sure if he's going to come over, but we'll give him a chance. I'll go ahead and stick around and see if he wants to eat that food today that I have for him. So he is actually the gentle giant of the group, so even though he's our top or apex predator in this habitat, because he's 160 pounds and our alligators are not anywhere near that size just yet, he's actually very good with them. They can even steal food right out of his mouth. They'll nap together at the bottom of our water. Oftentimes, things like this happen, and he's really just a laid-back individual, so we're really lucky to have him. Maggie and I are actually really lucky to be in here with these guys as well because they were placed on the endangered species list for the American alligator back in '67. So the reason that they were being placed on the endangered species list that was newly enacted at that point was because they were being taken out of their natural habitat in very large numbers. Not only for meat, but also for the leather trade because of their skins. So people like you and I cared a lot about these individuals, and we wanted to save this iconic American species. So when we placed them on that list, regulations were put in place. A lot of conservation scientists were working to help these guys to come back from the brink of extinction. And they also, like Maggie said before, have great moms that do stay with them during their most vulnerable years for the first 1 to 3 years of their life. Now it does look like that snapping turtle is coming over to me. And the alligator snapping turtle is actually a species that the Tennessee Aquarium Conservation Institute is currently working with. So I'm going to let Maggie tell you a little bit more about that as I'm trying to.
Yeah, so not a lot of people know that the aquarium has our very own Conservation Institute that employs full-time conservation scientists that are out in the field doing a lot of really cool studies and work. So we were actually asked by the state of Tennessee to do an alligator snapping turtle survey because nobody knows how many alligator snapping turtles we have out in our Tennessee waterways. and we need to know that information to make sure that we will always have alligator snapping turtles out in our waterways. So they are out there surveying all the rivers in Tennessee just to see how our population of those snapping turtles stand. Now hopefully they will find out that they are in great shape, our waterways are perfect habitats for them, their population is great, their numbers are great, and we don't have to do anything. But if that's not the case, because we had such a successful conservation story with the American alligators, not only did it help the alligators, but it helped us have roadmaps to help other species in case we need that too. So now we have a great roadmap and plan in place in case we do find out that the alligator snapping turtles do need a little extra protection and help. And just by visiting today, you guys are helping us support all of those studies. So we want to say thank you for spending some time in our swamp today and helping out all of these really cool animals, especially our snapping turtles who are native here to Tennessee. Now Mackenzie is actually heading around front right now to be able to answer all of your questions. It's a little bit hard for us to hear you over the glass, so she is on her way out front. So if you do have any questions about our alligators or our alligator snapping turtle, and I don't know if you guys saw him, he was up front. We have a very large alligator gar in here too. We really are fond of things with an alligator in this exhibit. But if you guys have any questions about any of these animals or any of the conservation work that we are participating in, Mackenzie's actually been able to go out with those conservation scientists and spend some time in the field. So she is a great resource if you have any of those questions, and she is on her way out front right now to answer all of your questions. But we do want to say thank you for spending some time with us this morning. I'm going to hand you over to Mackenzie, and have a great day here at the aquarium.
Hey, thanks so much everyone for watching this video of me visiting the Tennessee Aquarium and hearing a really cool keeper talk all about alligators. Really cool to hear about all these cool creatures. If you like this sort of stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. I post weekly cool videos of aquariums like this and historical sites and national parks. Till next time, this is History Buff Tan Photobug signing out, and I'm having a blast this week with biology. See you next time, guys.